is provides people in the urban communities information as it relates to, one, the benefits of cannabis and why, in many cases, which this book, the Greenspoon book, why it was banned and why it was considered to be illegal, which had nothing to do with health. All it had to do with was with economics. And now that, especially in New York State, the question is not whether it will be legalized, but cannabis will be legalized at some point for recreational use. And the thing about that is that in many states where that has taken place, that it's the health benefits that have been more of a marketing tool for the industry than some of the benefits that people have labeled it into. Is just something that people want to, to smoke weed and get high. There's many different words, weed, and many other types of words. But the important thing is that in so many, and you'll hear a lot of this in this conference, there's so many ways cannabis or hemp can help, especially in this particular time, as far as relaxing individuals, as far as allowing for all kinds of different types of improved immune system facilities in the body. I mean, it's just, and hemp is over 300 or more different ways to use that, which is one of the reasons why the whole cannabis family was made illegal. So I hope that this conference will at least begin to allow for many people to understand that this is a very important subject, something that we all should be aware of, something that in many cases is a crime, that a plant that has so many positive purely political and economic reasons banned, and many people who could use it, take advantage of it, have been subject to using other pharmaceutical products that have tremendous harmful after effects. Some of the after effects of some of the medications that people, especially elderly people, take is worse than why they have to take it. So I'm happy to be as president of On Your One Wellness Group. I make sure that people who work with our organization and the Key Energy Center are aware of it, but gives another platform, another way of educating people. And Richard, thank you for your effort, and I look forward for the rest of the day.
Thank you, Tony. And we are definitely pleased and so forth for all the things you've done, and we definitely look forward to the information a little bit later on in the day. All right, let's go into our first forum. And our first forum has to do with the highlighting community activism in cannabis. So the folks on our first forum will be Maria Granville, and she represents the Harlem Business Alliance. Melissa Gibson from Hemp and Humanity is also going to be on this panel. Women of Color in Cannabis. So all four of them will be coming on and giving their presentations. And following the presentations, we'll be opening things up for some Q&A. And if you want to ask a question, you can type it into the bar, or you can actually, for a general question, but if it's somebody individually, you can just go ahead and write the question to them individually, and they should be able to see it and answer them and so forth. So to go back to the first person who's going to present to us, and I believe she may have a slide presentation, so we can let her screen be shared, is the one and only Maria Granville. And the Maria Granville from the Harlem. Hi.
My
She's from
neighbor.
From Harlem Business Alliance. Let's see. Maria Graham from Harlem Business Alliance. You know, the Harlem
Oh,
Business
actually, I'm
Alliance,
mute. Okay,
pretty good.
I'm
I would
muted.
do a little brief
Hi.
introduction. Let everyone know the Harlem Business Alliance is a 501c3 nonprofit organization that was established in 1980. And it creates environments and opportunities that produce successful entrepreneurs and creates jobs for local residents. In June of 2018, the Harlem Business Alliance launched what they call the Green Revolution for cannabis and entrepreneurship. And this is really a series of events to educate and empower the people of Harlem and the community on the growing marijuana industry. So HBA right now is headed by Regina Smith, who's become a major voice on this initiative. But today we have Maria Granville sitting in. So Maria, happy 420.
Yes. Happy 420. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Great, great. Well, thank you for having me. And I have a presentation that I will take you through. Regina and I have been working, well, I've been working with Regina for about the last year, reviewing marijuana legislation that has been enacted throughout the country, and seeing what we could do to enhance it to make New York's really work for the Black community. So I'm going to run you through some things, and then maybe if there are questions later on, we'll talk about them. Richard introduced HA, and their whole thing is to develop and enhance the economic status of the Harlem business community. So I'm going to, sorry, war on drugs. So I didn't say social equity, I said restorative justice, and I'll share why as we talk about terminology and the economic realities faced by the Black community. So marijuana legalization should not be used as another program ostensibly designed to solve society's ills. And social equity, which is why I didn't use that term, is aimed at all minorities and disabled Black veterans. So what's a minority? A minority is a white female, Black, Hispanic, Asian, Asian Indian, and North American, Native American Indian. That's a lot of groups. And, you know, if we look at this graph, it really shows actually the point that I'm hoping we make by the end of this session. It shows why we have to be unified in the terms that we use, okay? Because between 2010 and 2017, 86.5% of the people arrested for marijuana in New York City were Black and Hispanic. And Black people make up 51.3% of that number. So as you can see, and not all minorities are affected equally. So what we've done is we've tried to figure out a term that would work, and we came up with most harmed. So most harmed includes all races, genders, veteran status, and sexual orientations. And it reduces the likelihood of a court challenge and ensures that only those who have experienced the consequences of prohibition will benefit from restorative justice. You know, we've heard people use the word reparations while they're discussing marijuana legalization. And we're sort of concerned about using that word because we don't want to get confused with the long overdue restitutions owed to Black people in this country.
I'm sorry, Maria, can I interject for a few seconds? Are you trying to share your screen? Because we gave you co-hosting ability for you to
Oh,
share
you
your
can't see my screen? All
Yeah.
that time I was talking?
No, we see you.
Oh,
No, we see you.
no. You see me looking down?
Yeah,
Oh, no fun.
but if you're doing your slide presentation,
I
we can't.
am. Do you
Yeah.
see it now?
Now, yeah, let's see. Right, you have screen sharing. Yep, now
Okay.
we see it. Go ahead.
Oh, I wish you had interrupted me earlier.
No problem. You can start again. It's okay.
I don't want to start again. Everybody heard what I was talking
Yeah,
about, but now
you
you
can pick
can
it up
see
right from
it.
there.
Okay. So what was I talking about? Most harmed? Oh no, reparations. So yeah, that's we don't want to get it confused with the restitutions that we are actually owed because of slavery and Jim Crow and mass incarcerations. So and then we don't use the term social equity. Um, we think we tried to come up with a term that didn't include social equity because social equity includes all minorities and people really don't benefit when there's so many large groups. Reparations isn't right because, you know, reparations is for slavery, not for marijuana. And we sort of think that restorative justice and economic restorative justice works. So what we're hoping is that everyone says most harmed when, oh, I didn't even describe most harmed. Wait. We have to get back because that's pretty simple. Well, we'd like to strictly define it as people who've been arrested, convicted, or incarcerated for marijuana use, and their communities, the communities that were over-policed. Going back to 1980, and we're saying going back to 1980 because gentrification, and we don't really, we really want this to be narrow. The people who were impacted should benefit. Okay. So we can't really talk about restorative justice without talking about the economic realities of the Black community. And according to Dedrick Asante Muhammad from the Institute of Policy Studies, African American households are making middle-income money, but have the wealth of a white high school dropout. That was tough. But if you look at this graph, you can clearly see what happens when social equity programs are implemented for minorities. Okay, and you see that little green line, let me point to it. That represents Black-owned firms. So this graph is for fiscal 2019. In fiscal 2019, New York City paid MWBEs $1.6 billion. Black companies got 0.1% of that spend. That equals $16 million. That's almost as bad as the $3.60-something they just gave us for coronavirus the other day. Now, it is as bad, not almost. So information from controlling, and in 2017, making the board, he reported Black New Yorkers account for 22% of the city's population, but we only own 3% of the local businesses.